I have a new video for you guys because we need to talk about Framing Britney Spears, which is a documentary recently released from the New York Times where they covered the Free Britney movement and her conservatorship. I have so many thoughts when it comes to this, so let's go ahead and talk about it. I don't know what you guys were doing Friday night, but I was anxiously waiting by the computer for Hulu to release Framing Britney Spears, which is a documentary, like I said, covering her conservatorship and the Free Britney movement. A lot of us were rooting for this documentary because we feel like this is probably the first piece of real media that is aimed towards, actually freeing Britney Spears and calling out the corruption in her conservatorship, because her father, James Spears, has bought a lot of media, CNN and the Wendy Williams show, and they have tried to convince the public that they are in the right. But this documentary finally called out some of the wrong going on in Britney's life. In today's video, I want to walk through what happened in the documentary and my thoughts on a few things. Then I want to talk about a little conspiracy, just a little one. And then after that, I want to check out Britney's Instagram because she posted some odd things. Like the first clip you guys saw when we opened this video, she posted a video where she says,
"Where's everybody? Where's everybody?"
And she's wearing an outfit from a long time ago where she posted a picture and that went viral. So the weird Instagram posts continue to come, but we'll get to that at the end. I have so many thoughts when it comes to this documentary, and not all of my thoughts are correct or accurate or whatever, so this video is definitely very opinion-based, and I just kind of want to walk through it, so let's talk about it. The documentary started off talking about Britney's upbringing and how she became a pop star, working really hard to become that singer and dancer that she wanted to be, or really that her mom wanted her to be. Nancy Carson appeared in the beginning of this documentary, and she was Britney's former talent agent. She went into detail on how Len was the one really trying to make Britney Spears a star, and Britney's father, James Spears, wasn't really in the picture at all. It was really Len putting in all the work in Britney's life. Then Britney's former marketing director, Kim Kane, spoke, and she went into detail on how Lynn Spears, Britney's mother, would do anything, quote, anything to make Britney a star. She was putting in the work because she wanted her daughter to become famous, which she successfully did. And as I was watching the interview with Kim, I could tell that she definitely did not like James Spears. She said that she actually really didn't have much interaction with him in general, but the quote that everyone was talking about is how she claims he told her that he wants his daughter so rich that she can buy him a boat. When I heard that, I was just, God, so cringing inside, because it paints a picture that we have been thinking for so long, that her father has been in it for the money.
The only thing Jamie ever said to me was, "My daughter's going to be so rich, she's going to buy me a boat." That's all I'm going to say about Jamie.
Nancy was also open with the fact that the family really struggled with money and they didn't know how to make their daughter famous. I mean, as a talent agent, she was dealing with people who came from pretty wealthy backgrounds, maybe even came from artists themselves, but Britney was just from a small town and her parents fought really hard to make her a star. Nancy and Kim were featured in the beginning of that documentary, but Felicia was featured throughout. And if you don't know who Felicia is, she is Britney's former personal assistant, and she worked very closely with Britney Spears and the family while Britney was traveling, on tour. Anytime Britney needed a motherly figure or support, Felicia was there. Honestly, Felicia was the highlight of this whole documentary because I feel like she brought in a layer of insight that was really needed to understand how, functioning Britney was in this situation and how she was taken advantage of. Here throughout the documentary, and I will share little bits about her as we go. I did think it was interesting that her house was covered in Britney Spears art. I mean, she was gifted a lot of this from Lynn Spears and the family, but I was like, oh my gosh, when I saw that house, I was like, this is a straight up museum. But as the documentary continued, I started getting more and more disappointed because I was really hoping that we would be focusing on the conservatorship when it came to this documentary. And I know as Free Britney followers, we know a lot about the movement and we need to give everyone else some background, but I feel like they could have skipped a little bit of what they talked about. I mean, 75% of the documentary was pretty much about Britney's past. they had this guy there and he was speaking about Britney's past and her work and her career and how she's an icon, and we all know this. Something I found insightful was that they shared that Britney was very involved in her art earlier on, very involved in the craft, every single part of it, and I feel like knowing that is really heartbreaking, thinking that she has no control over her career. I mean, we talked about the email her lawyer, Samuel Ingham, sent to her record label asking for a new production team because she doesn't like the production team she currently has. So Britney is not happy with her current status at the record label, and I feel like for some time there have been some problems around that because Britney doesn't get creative freedom. As they continued talking about Britney's career and how great she was and all, they started talking about Justin Timberlake. And again, I feel like this is just so unnecessary. Like, yeah, she had an iconic relationship with Justin Timberlake. I would think every single person knows this about now. We don't need 5 to 7 minutes about Justin Timberlake and her relationship. And I feel like at this point of the documentary, I was extremely frustrated because I don't care to hear about Justin Timberlake. I don't care to hear about the relationship. I feel like we were focusing on framing Britney's, like how Britney was going to be framed in this way, and maybe the breakup is part of that, and they're trying to demonstrate how that, you know, was a problem and could have led to her having some issues, like mental health issues. But in my opinion, they just talked about Justin Timberlake for far too long, and I really just wasn't interested. I don't care. I don't know why Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears is still like, why are we talking about this? It's so old. She's so over it. I mean, recently there was a video posted on her Instagram where she was dancing to a Justin Timberlake song, and I feel like her team did that on purpose so that they can get some TMZ articles out of it. But yeah, Justin Timberlake, it just isn't relevant in my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. Then they showed the Matt Lawyer interview, and at that point, I was livid. I was actually mad because I understand, yeah, that was a really bad time for Britney Spears, the worst interview she has ever done before, and that's not coming from my mouth, that's coming from her own mouth. She regrets that interview. She doesn't like how she was looking there. She doesn't like how, you know, she was feeling there. She doesn't like how it went down. It was a really toxic time in her life. She felt like her stylist, you know, let her go out looking bad. There were so many issues to that interview, and it's something that she's not proud of at all. And I just think it's incredible that they would include that. Like, why do we need to talk about the Matt Lawyer interview? Why do we need to include the head shaving? Like, everything just went too far, in my opinion, and it didn't even, like, I don't know, were they trying to justify her going in the conservatorship? Like, they were trying to make her look bad? Like, I understand it was bad. We cannot just sit here and say, oh, it was like, it wasn't bad, it was all good. I mean, it was terrible, but they're over here still bringing it up, and I'm like, I've never included a picture of Britney Spears with her breakdown, with her head shaved, with anything like that, and I don't think that they needed to either, and they don't need that to get the message across that the conservatorship is corrupt. That part doesn't really add up to it, and maybe I'm just like bitter. I am a little bit bitter when it comes to that. I mean, when they were interviewing this paparazzi, I was just like shaking. I was actually confused. This man was the man who shot Britney Spears when she had the umbrella incident by the car. I will not show the picture because I think that's inappropriate. But they interviewed this man for her conservatorship documentary. The man who was like following her and like bothering her for years and years. He even talks about how Britney asked him to leave her alone, and this man took the umbrella picture, one of the worst moments in her life, and we're interviewing him for this docu-series. Like, it's just, to me, I don't think we need to revisit how bad it got. We understand it got really bad. So I do feel like this part of the documentary was really bothering me, and I was actually very disappointed to hear that they would focus on this. Like, is it really that relevant? And then Vivian Lee made her appearance, and this is one of the lawyers who helped put Britney Spears in the conservatorship. Vivian Lee is savage, and we've talked about her on my channel before. I have a whole video dedicated to her and how Britney's father has used her to his advantage, and she actually was being interviewed in this documentary right before she was hired by James Spears. And something I thought that was really interesting was that she mentioned how in her career she's never seen a conservatoree get out of a conservatorship, which I think there is a first for everything. And even though Vivian doesn't want Britney out of the conservatorship, I do believe that she is on the wrong side, and she even knows it, because in the documentary she wouldn't talk about Britney Spears specifically at all. She would talk about it in a general sense, and it really didn't make sense with Britney Spears' circumstances. Like Vivian says, the conservatorship is for those who are incapable of making their own choices. In this documentary and interviews with Felicia, just showed that Britney was more than capable of doing so. And then Adam, Britney's former attorney, who never really was hired by Britney Spears. I mean, she did hire this guy, but the judge kicked him out of the courtroom. And honestly, I don't really have much to say about him because he never really did anything for Britney. He tried to, but he left that courtroom. I feel like he could have challenged the judge. Like, I wish I was him and been like, excuse me, judge, you are violating her constitutional rights. Imagine if he fought for her in that one instance and, you know, saved her from this whole conservatorship. But he did acknowledge the fact that Britney's constitutional rights were violated. And I'm glad he did, because I feel like that's something that was kind of brushed past in the whole documentary, and that they didn't focus on the fact that Britney was truly wronged legally. Like, her constitutional rights were violated. So I like that he appeared for the second. I don't think he's someone we need to really celebrate in the movement, because he, like I said, he did one thing back then. He was hired and he walked out. He walked out on Britney, and that was it. I don't think he's a hero. I don't think he has much to add besides the fact that he was there to witness her constitutional rights being violated. So as far as him, I didn't really care for his bit inside the documentary.
The second thing was, she said, I don't want my father to be the conservator. That was her one request. She wanted a professional, somebody independent.
And was she opposed to her dad as the conservator of the estate, the person, or both?
Both. Britney did not want her father to be the conservator of her person.
But I have to say, I mean, he's not all bad. He did clarify and confirm that Britney really did not want her father to be controlling her life. So he's there for a reason, and I think that it shows that, you know, Britney Spears did not want her father to be there, and he was there trying to defend her. He wasn't able to, and now he's here, you know, talking about it. So wish he could have fought a little bit harder, but, you know, I don't know how it went down in that courtroom, and we can only assume how corrupt and toxic it was. Okay, now we've got some people who are going to actually call out some of these specific things that we have been talking about. They provided great insight in the documentary into what we've been looking for in Britney's Instagram. I mean, I feel like the documentary itself was very just like an umbrella, like high level. We didn't learn anything that we didn't really know before. I feel like there are some things that actually were missed that were really crucial, like the fact that they said that she was a 26-year-old with dementia, and that's how they put her in a conservatorship. There was no talks about the dementia part, which I actually thought was outstanding, that they would show the court record and they wouldn't zoom down and point to the fact that she is a 26-year-old and she's claimed as having dementia. Like, why was that overlooked? And there were several other things that were kind of overlooked in the documentary. But other than that, I mean, those are my thoughts. I do generally like it because it goes in the right direction and it's spreading the message and it's a good overview. I understand we need to cover some of those earlier things so that people understand what's currently going on, but I do feel like they spent a little bit too long on her breakdown and could have talked a little bit more with Britney's Graham and about what's currently going on in the court system. But it was clear that this documentary was shot back in August 2020, so there have been so many changes since then that they need a part 2 to catch up. But leave a comment below. What do you guys think about the documentary? Did you watch it? Did you like it? I mean, I overall liked it, like I said, and I was really proud to see that it wasn't all a woman cast crew, you know, that worked on this. So that was fabulous, but I do feel like there are some details that were definitely overlooked. Now I want to talk about a little conspiracy that's going around that this documentary is actually Project Rose, or the Rose Project, you know, Project Rose, Rose Project, whatever project that Britney has been talking about on her Instagram for so long now. Here are a couple posts about Project Rose that Britney has made on her Instagram, and it's something that she has been teasing for some time. A lot of fans thought that this Project Rose was kind of cryptic because some of the pictures and images, nothing really made sense, and it left us feeling unsettled. During the documentary, the New York Times decided to select a clip that included Britney with a little soap rose, and this video clip in general has been known as cryptic. I mean, there are articles out there calling it disturbing, and it's interesting that they included this little clip without really any context.
See the pink rose? See how beautiful that is? Watch. It's just soap. That's all it is. It's just soap. It's not really a flower at all. It's just soap. He fooled ya.
As Britney posted more and more about Project Rose, she talks about it coming soon, how there's more to it, how she's doing photo shoots, but we know that Britney's not creating music, she's not doing like a movie, she's not doing anything like that. So could this documentary be part of that Project Rose? Do you think she was aware of it?
And you will be seeing way more of Project Rose in the future.
I thought it was interesting at the end of the documentary, you can see they reached out to a ton of people and none of them responded. And I thought it was even scarier that they said that they reached out to Britney, but it was unclear whether Britney ever got their message. Also, Britney's boyfriend, Sam, who I'm still unsure about. I don't hate Sam, I'm just unsure about him. He has been liking posts related to this documentary and related to Britney Spears. So I do feel like he is aware of what's going on and that he's possibly on our side. I don't know if this is true at all and if this is Project Rose. It's probably not because it doesn't seem like it involves Britney, but throughout the documentary you can see there were tons of roses in the background and flowers. I don't know if those are roses or not, but the flowers were interesting, and they were even using this old picture of Britney to promote the documentary, and she's got the rose and everything. So I do feel like there is a little bit of hint of it here that is kind of concerning. So what do you think Britney's referring to when she's talking about Project Rose? Like, we're going to see so much more of it in the future. Is she talking about this documentary? I mean, when we've asked her before about her favorite flower, which again, I've never asked her about her favorite flower, but in that video, she talks about how a rose is her favorite flower.
What's my favorite flower? It's a rose. And
so I don't know, the Rose Project is still something I'm so lost about. I've made a video about it in the past, and there are so many like Rose Project things on the internet about human like trafficking, you know what I mean? So it could involve that, I have no idea, but I wanted to bring up that little conspiracy to see what you guys think. Now let's take a look at Britney's Instagram. So as you guys can see here, she still follows 116 people, which is 911 upside down. She does not follow her sister, and her sister does not follow her. Here is a post she made recently where she's talking about sand and she's playing with sand. And honestly, the video is a little bit odd. It's just kind of like her playing around with it. And she writes, "I do this at least 2 hours a day." 2 hours a day. I'm sure she's joking. I got it at Target. I have no idea what it is, but it's the best thing I've ever bought in my life. Ugh, there's Billy B. But yeah, her sister actually commented on here, "I played with this kinetic sand for almost an hour too." And I still think it's interesting that she doesn't follow her own sister. Like, why are you commenting on her page, but you don't even follow her? But yeah, Britney posted this long video playing with the sand, and
Satisfied? Do you like to clean? Do you like to cook?
do you like to clean? Do you like to cook? Do you like to swim? I think I remember this.
Do you like to work out?
Work out? Her voice sounds a little bit shaky here. Like when she said, "Do you like to work out?" that was a little shaky. Wait, hold on.
Do you like to work out?
She's in like out. It just makes me think that she's a little bit like when I hear that like vibration in her voice, it makes me think she's a little bit like anxious, you know, in that moment. And, oh my gosh, there's some roses in the background. There's literally some roses in the background, but yeah, it looks like she's playing around with this sand and kind of having a moment. She's whispering some things into the camera, and I don't really know if those are like messages yet. I've kind of been thinking about them. Here is a video she posted yesterday, like right before the documentary, and she says, "Where is everybody?
Where's everybody?
Where's everybody?"
Where's everybody?
And this is a really old video because this was part of a shoot or something she did months and months ago, and we were talking about it at the time. So this is a very, very old video. I know this. And the caption reads, "This is what we've been saying this past year in quarantine. Stay safe this weekend, folks." And here's another post that we haven't talked about on my channel from 3 days ago, where she writes some of her goals for 2021: to exercise more, volunteer, eat well. "I told myself if I just keep addressing these key things weekly with my body and my mind, my body will be healthier than it ever was. I'm sharing this because I want to pass it on. Those little tricks are amazing, and a pot of tea to top it off does wonders as well. Stay fit, healthy, and most importantly, strong for 2021. You guys got this. P.S. I loved sharing positive messages with my fans across the world. God bless you all." Oh, Brittany, God bless you too. And then here are some older posts that we have already talked about on my channel. But yeah, I do feel like those recent posts are kind of random. The T one is like, okay, is she trying to make her mind smarter so she can control her life again and prove to the court that she is capable to do so? That's what I'm thinking. But we talked about a lot in this video, so let me know what you think in the comments below. I mean, I overall like the documentary. I'm not going to say I hate it. I definitely support it because it's pro, like, free Britney. You know what I mean? It's anti-conservatorship in my opinion. But I do wish there was a deep dive, like reporters who were asking those strong, hard-hitting questions, like, did you ever see Britney's dad physically do anything to Felicia? I mean, I feel like Felicia must have seen something, but I'm not too sure. I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. I do have a package actually to open for you guys. If you didn't know, I usually open my P.O. Box packages at the end of my videos, just because I like to do so, and sometimes it lightens the mood. So let's go ahead and open this one. It's from Zazzle, so it doesn't say a person's name on here, but it says Zazzle, and it says customer service. So I'm guessing someone ordered it. Maybe they have a card in here. Ooh, okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, someone created a Zazzle gift for me. What is this? By Grind Lady. Grind Lady. It doesn't say a to or from though. Maybe I'll have to check you out on Instagram if that's the Grind Lady. Okay, let's go ahead and open it up. Oh, okay. Playing cards. Z playing cards. What is this? Oh, it's just some playing cards? I'm so interested. Okay, and I open them up, and what's going on here? Wait, what? Washed down with some hot tea? Wait, hold up. At first I was like, wait, who's this lady on here? But she got me some custom cards. Wash it down with some hot tea. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Oh, like with my saying on it. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. I love this so much. That's so cool. Wait, so I think this is from Grind Lady? Grind Lady, thank you so much. I'm going to try to look you up on Instagram. I'm assuming maybe that's your name on there. Oh, it doesn't say, like, details, though. I wish some of these things had extra names. Oh, this is so cool. So it's literally my saying on playing cards. That is such a flex. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's so special too. Like, it's just like, because you guys know my saying, get ready to pay close attention, grab a snack, and wash it down with some hot tea. I haven't been saying it as much, but if you guys want it to come back some more, let me know, because I definitely can do that. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Grind Lady. Grind Lady, I don't know what the name is, but thank you so much. I'm going to try to look you up online, but this is so awesome, and I am so thankful. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in a new video soon. If you guys want to send me something, my P.O. box is listed below, but this is awesome. Thank you so much, friend, and I will see you guys in a new video soon. Bye, guys.